Welcome to the Rich Girl Mindset, a podcast intended to motivate and inspire the side hustler to become a doer and an action taker. With real life stories and experiences from me, your host, Vanessa Castillo, and our special guest, you will get amazing insight into our journeys, how we push through our comfort zones, and into our genius zones. Let's face it, we all have purpose, and life is about pushing ourselves to that limit. This show will cover the good, the bad, the ugly, and best of all, the raw, authentic truth of attaining the rich girl mindset. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another solo episode of the Rich Girl Mindset Talk Show. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. You already know this is your go-to space for motivation, inspiration, and making shift happen. The Rich Girl Mindset is all about shifting our minds so we can shift our lives. And yeah, let's hop right in. So if you're new here or if it's been that long that you've forgotten me, it's your girl Vanessa. And today we're going to talk about something that I feel very passionate about and something that I always talk about. And I feel like it's something that we've all felt at some point, which is like feeling stuck and not knowing where to go next or whatnot. So whether it's in like our career path or our personal life, or we're just not feeling aligned in other ways, we've all had those moments where we're like, what's next? Where do I go from here? What do I do now? So today I just want to talk about number one, like how to recognize when we're feeling stuck, and then most importantly, how to shift our mindset so that we can step back into that power and gain that alignment again. So I'm I gotta say, if you look back into time with the rich girl mindset, you can see that like I've been there too, right? Like I started this in 2018. It's now 2025. We only have like 6 or 8 episodes out. Um, but the important thing is that I'm still passionate about it and I still want to pursue this message or this way of living, right? So, anyways, um, questioning ourselves and like hesitating to make a move or being afraid of the unknown, it's super normal. And it's like just a matter of gaining consciousness around it and seeing how we can move forward from that. So here's the thing, like the version of you that's thriving and living in alignment is already inside of us. Like it's already within. Sometimes we just need a little like reminder, a little push, and maybe like some tools so that we can make it happen, so that we can make shift happen. So let's get into it. Number one, I want to talk about how we can recognize when we are feeling stuck, right? So first, let's talk about like a lot of the times where, you know, and this is for everyone. This isn't just for business owners. This isn't just for like, this is for any and everyone. Like sometimes, or a lot of the times, we're so busy doing all of the things, working, taking care of family, or just going through the motions that we don't even realize that we're not moving forward. And then the years go by, and then the years go by, and then the years go by, and you're like, oh my God, where's the time going? So, some signs that you can notice to understand if you are stuck or if you're feeling stuck or maybe recognize it, is number one, you're constantly second guessing your decisions. Second guessing our decisions is never going to get us anywhere because if we just continue to second guess, then we're never going to take any action, right? And sometimes where you find the epiphany or the answers is in taking the action. Number two is we feel like unmotivated or uninspired by the things that used to excite us, right? So, I can talk about this. By trade, am a photographer and a videographer and like a communications expert for 15 years now. And while all of those things still excite me, how I started my business was like a creative agency, right? And I'm no longer really resonating with the word agency because agency is like tied into like marketing, and then I get contacted by like a bunch of spam businesses that just want to like offer me like not even they just want to partner up for like some marketing stuff. And like what we do at VCV agency is not marketing, it's more like the content that you use for your marketing. So I more so feel like we're a creative hub where we can help you with your creative stuff, be it photography, videography, graphic design, copywriting, whatever it is. But the point being is that recently I haven't, number one, I haven't been resonating with our name, VCV Agency, which is obviously this is a brand that I created in 2012. It started off as Vanessa Castillo Visuals, and then it grew to VCV Agency, which the VCV stood for various creative visionaries. And we used to be a team. We had like more independent contractors that we worked with. And so now I'm pivoting completely into a different direction, still using creative outlets, still using content creation and all of these things, but whatever. The point is that I'm no longer motivated and inspired by the things that used to excite me once upon a time. And that's totally okay. Like, we have to embrace the changes within because we're always going to be going through changes and growth of some sort. And I think embracing that is the first step into like making shift happen. Um, Anyways, number three, we're waiting for the perfect moment to start something new, to just go for it, but it never seems to come because, again, we're waiting for the perfect moment, and there never is a perfect moment. There is just the moment. And the moment being to just take the risk, go for it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, and then you can try again and try something different, but the point is like we need to just do the thing, you know? There is no perfect moment. There are just moments and we need to go for it sometimes. Go for so honestly, like feeling stuck is a sign that something in our life needs to change. And I think that that is an important key thing to understand that it's okay. Embrace the change, right? It doesn't mean that we have failed. It doesn't mean that we haven't gotten anywhere. It doesn't mean that it didn't work once upon a time. It just means that we're being called to grow. And that is where the magic happens. When we decide, okay, I'm going to make this shift. I'm going to make this shift happen, even if I don't know what's going to happen when I do that. You know what I mean? And I think that's like one of the main things that happens to us when we're feeling stuck and like not in control of what to do next. Um, so number two is shifting our mindset, right? This is a very important thing. This is what the rich girl mindset is all about. It's all about using our mindset and the power of the mind to create a reality that ultimately makes us happy or fulfilled or all of the above, whatever word you want to use. Um, so now that we know what it feels like to be stuck, to feel stuck, to not know where we're going next, let's talk about how to shift out of that. Okay? I'm not gonna sit here and throw like cliches at you and like, oh, just think positive or manifest it, it'll happen, or we're like, no. We are all about making real moves over here, and we're all about keeping it real and being authentic and all of that. So, let me tell you what's worked for me when have felt stuck. Number one is I get clear on what it is that I actually want, what it is that I'm desiring, what it is that I'm trying to do or make happen. So, taking some time to reflect is is very important, right? Like let's ask ourselves like what do I really want my life to look like? Let's write it down. There's so much power in writing things down and actually seeing it. Like remember that words cast spells. And thinking one thing is one thing, but the moment that we're writing it, we're making it more real. Yeah. So the more specific we are, the better, right? If we don't know where we're headed, then it's hard to even like move forward. Like imagine if you were on a ship, on a cruise ship, and there was no captain like manning this ship. Where's the ship gonna go? The ship is not gonna go anywhere. It has nowhere to go. So it's the same situation, same scenario, same analogy. Like if we don't know where we're going, then it's gonna be hard to get there. So let's get clear on what we want, take time to reflect, journal it, write it down, and ask ourselves like what do we really want our lives to look like? What do I want my life to look like? Number two is take one small step. One small step. It doesn't have to be one small step every day. It doesn't have to be one small step every week. It doesn't have to be every month. It doesn't have whatever. Just take the small steps. one step leads into the next step, but you always have to start somewhere. And I know that part is like hard sometimes because it's like, where do we start? But this is where we start. We start on getting clear on what we want, asking ourselves, what do we want, writing it down, and then taking one small step, right? We don't have to have everything figured out. Sometimes the smallest little step, which is like, it could be sending the little email or making the phone call or posting the piece of content, whatever it is, it can set the wheels in motion. And once those wheels are in motion, it starts to gain momentum. And then, like, the inspiration and the motivation and everything just starts to fall into place, right? So let's just take that one small step. Let's do what we have to take the one small step that's going to take you there. Okay? Get the wheels in motion. Number 3 is reframe our fear. Remember that fear is false expectations appearing real or something like that. You can Google it, but the point is that it's something that's false appearing real. So it's not real. It's not real. It's also like if we can embrace our fear and become friends with our fear, then it becomes part of the process, right? Because we're always going to be scared of something. There's always going to be, even if when we get to that where we want to go or where we want to be, there's going to be another place that we want to be, and we're always going to be climbing that ladder, right? So um, let's just understand number one that fear is a part of the process, right? And once we're stepping into something new, it's like totally normal to feel scared, to feel like the unknown, right? But instead of seeing it as that, as the unknown, as fear, as being scared of whatever is what not knowing, let's see it as a green light, right? It's a sign. It's a sign that we're growing. It's a sign that we're headed in the right direction. It's a sign that we're headed there, and that's you're on the right track, you're on the right road, right? You're on the right street, you're on the right lane, you're doing the right things, you're making it happen, and you're not letting fear get in the way, which is like some guy cutting you off or something. Not some guy, but some car cutting you off. Number 4 is check your circle. Who's in your corner? Who's in your immediate group of that you're surrounding yourself with, right? Like, remember that who we surround ourselves with really take a toll on what we're doing in life. So surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who challenge you, people who cheer you on, people who can see the vision, people who are like just rooting for you, right? So sometimes feeling stuck is less about you and more about the energy around us, right? So that's why, like, we gotta be very weary with who we have around and how they're affecting us and our energy. Um, Gotta check your energy, watch your energy, something like that. What do I say? I don't even know what I say. Um, Work with me. It's our second solo episode, and we're back. We're slowly coming back into it, but yeah, just work with me if I'm over here like all my thoughts are blending together. Okay, so number 3, let's talk about um some some things that you can do to make shift happen, right? So I guess like number 1, I talk a lot about stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping into like the unknown zone, taking the leap of faith, talking to different people who are already doing it, collaborating, creating, like just digging more into the doing and less of the thinking. I feel like a lot of times we just overthink things, and then because we're overthinking it, the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, the months turn into years, and then we never did the thing that we were thinking about. Whereas opposed to if we just do it, the quicker we do it, if we're gonna fail, the quicker we fail. But if it's gonna work and you need to build the consistency around it, then that's how it starts to work, and that's how you start to get the like revelations and the answers. Um, so looking back, I already realized that everything was already within. And I just needed to get out of my head, out of my own way, and trust that taking that leap of faith, even if it was scary, was the only way to grow. And as somebody who grew up shy and timid and observant and quiet, I think it's important. It was definitely scary for me to make that shift happen, right? But definitely once I started doing that, like I could see the magic unfolding and all of the opportunities and people and all of the things. Um, so it's kind of like I guess that's why I started preaching about making shift happen, right? Um, so yeah, I realized that those were the only ways that even if it was feeling scary, it was the only way to grow. And guess what? The moment that I decided to believe in myself and take action and just start doing again instead of thinking, um, things started to fall into place again. And that's how it is, right? It's the energy, the ball of energy and the way that it flows. So yeah, I think that in the like you talk about this topic and people probably are like makeshift happen, like what? And really that's all that it is. Like you just have to make the decision to do the thing that you want to do in order to get out of the feeling that you're feeling. If that makes sense. That kind of sounded like a tongue twister. But but yeah, let's talk about some takeaways before I wrap this up because I'm not trying to make these episodes too long either. I know attention span is so let me leave you with a few practical takeaways that you can start using today to make shift happen in your life. Number one, I would suggest with starting starting with a morning ritual, right? A morning ritual can look different for everybody, but the idea is to start each day with intention, with true intention. Like sometimes I know we start the day already on our phones, checking our emails, taking care of the kids, taking care of the spouses, taking care of everybody else but us. But really, really, really what we should do is like just even if it's like 5 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes, guys, even if you need to wake up 5 minutes earlier, do it because you need time for yourself in order to make these things happen, this shift happen. So start each day with intention, even if it's like 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of meditation, or setting goals, or just like reflecting on how you want your day to go how you want your day to go, or setting goals that can shift your energy, right? Or maybe you do it all, or maybe you just find the things that work for you, but the idea is to create an intentional morning ritual. Okay? Second takeaway. Say no to what doesn't align or what no longer serves you or what no longer brings you joy and fulfillment. Like if something feels off, or doesn't align with your true self, give yourself the permission to say no. Even if you're good at it, even if you've done it for years, if it's not aligned with you anymore, it's not sparking that joy or bringing out that fire within or, feeling aligned, then go ahead and give your permission to say no and say no. You're gonna see how good it feels when you actually say no for the first time to something that you would have said yes to just because. Just because I'm good at it, just because I've done it for years, just because you know me for that or whatever, or you're an old client or whatever. Like you say no to what doesn't align. Okay. Third takeaway, celebrate the small wins. Man, I wish I had my confetti because I would have been like, because I am all about celebrating. I'm all about celebrating big stuff, but I'm also all about celebrating the small wins. Any little progress is progress. So no matter how small it is, right? So give yourself credit for every step you take towards getting there. Give yourself the credit for any little step that you take towards getting to that goal, making that shift happen. Fourth takeaway is to invest in yourself, whether it's taking a class, taking a workshop, going to a conference, hiring a coach, reading a book that inspires you. Pouring into yourself is never a bad move. Investing in yourself is never a bad move, especially if you're trying to get somewhere that you haven't been before and you know that you can get there. I've made so many investments in myself, and it's always worth it for me. I always feel like I'm getting something out of it. I got something out of it that's going to get me to the next place. So to everybody listening, remember this. You have the power to create the life you want. Feeling stuck doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that you're being called to level up. And you got this. Okay? So if this episode all right. So if this episode resonated with you in any way, share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, share it with your parents, share it with whoever, and let me know what steps you start taking to make shift happen in your life. And don't forget to follow the Rich Girl Mindset, subscribe to our YouTube for more conversations like this, follow us on Instagram, become a member to our community. We have virtual events, we have in-person events, and we're always co-creating things. So, however we can make some magic happen too, or make shift happen, hit me up. But until next time, stay aligned, stay inspired, and keep stepping into your purpose and making shift happen. Love you guys.